It's Alphabet Cookbook today on Food Journey, and we're spinning the wheel to see what our letter choice is today. And it's F for fish. Hooray! And welcome to Food Journey. I'm feeling really happy today and I hope you are too. It's Alphabet Cookbook today and we've chosen the letter F for fish. And we're going to cook it up in 3 exciting ways that I know you're going to love to eat and share. Here's our menu. First, we're making a colossal fish sandwich, followed by hot, sweet and sour bites. Then we're topping it all off with a fragrant steamed fish bowl. Hello and welcome to the kitchen. We are going to get started with doing something that is essential with fish. You've got to clean it, you've got to get rid of those fins, and in our case, we're going to be filleting the fish so we can use that lovely flesh. And that's the part I'm going to share with you right now. It is a work in progress. You don't get it right the first time. And every time you do it, you get a little bit better at it. So let's have a go together. First things first. So we're going to try and sharpen our knives really well. I have a knife sharpener and I have a really nice knife that we're going to use to fillet our fish. So the idea is to just slide along one way and come back the other way. Slide along, come back. And then you can get a rhythm going. It's quite satisfying, actually. Now, after a while, you'll find that the knife is sharp enough. There's a way to test. Of course, you're not going to cut your finger, but it gives me an indication that, yes, this is getting sharper. Let's give it some extra. Okay. I think we are ready. We're cooking croaker and tilapia. Popular choices. And these are fresh, shiny, clear eyes and smelling like the sea. We will truly enjoy the results. Okay, we're starting off with this beautiful croaker. It has been scaled already. And I've got my kitchen scissors here to remove these bad boys. They've got to go. So, just cut them off. They're not too spiky, so shouldn't be too difficult. See, it's all coming off in a line there. Lift them up. These ones are pretty spiky. Let's cut those off too. You'll need to check and remove the other fins too. A little trim for the tail if you're keeping it whole. Cut diagonally near the head, exposing that lovely flesh. And then start cutting with the tip along the edge. Now carefully cut as near to the bone as possible. You should feel the bone actually against the knife. You're nearly there now. Well done. And cut off the beautiful fillet. I'm using a little trick, slicing under the central bone to remove the other fillet. And here's what's left, which you can employ for your fish stock. Same for the tilapia. What a great way to eat fish where you don't want to be troubled by bones. Now that we've finished filleting the fish, we're going to be using them in 3 different ways as the menu says. The first way is an exciting one for me because it sort of takes me back to my childhood yet again when I enjoyed a fish sandwich. This is going to be made a little bit differently because I'm going to introduce a different way to fry the fish in a ale batter, and we're going to have some exciting onion rings with it, with a delicious spring onion and ginger dipping sauce and some lovely flavored mayonnaise as well. So I'm excited for this one. Let's get rocking. Let's ensure that there's enough for two by cutting the fillet in half like this, and season with white pepper, garlic powder and salt. Both sides, please. I've got a huge onion here because I want big onion rings. So let's just get the end off there. And what we want to do now is get some rings. I'm going to leave that one like this. See how many we can get. And even these bits are okay to do. For the spring onion and ginger dipping sauce, we need spring onion and ginger. This is a beautiful big piece, isn't it? So let's go ahead and start breaking it up like this. We're going to use quite a bit of it, and then we're going to use all of this spring onion. Slice thin and julienne the ginger. So we're giving this a little bit of a bash. And with a cleaver, slice. And then chop really, really small. Same for the ginger. We'll start off with the ginger. A quick 20 to 30 second saute is all it needs with the spring onions, just to temper the bluntness of intensity. Decant and add some salt and a teaspoon or two of sesame oil. It's really your choice. And voila, it's done. We're making the beer batter now. So I have half and half cornstarch and flour. Cornstarch is just going to make the batter extra crispy. So giving that a little bit of a mix and then dumping in here. I want to season this with a bit of garlic powder. Like that. It needs to be flavorsome. Some chili. You know I like it hot. Yeah, there we go. And some black pepper. There we go. And some salt. A good pinch. Give that a mix. And the next part is adding the beer. Well, what we're looking for is not too thick and not too runny. So I'm just working it in. See how it's frothing up? That's what we want. Just keep checking it. And give it a mix. Turning it to make sure I get all the corners. With your stations all ready, we are dipping our fish into the batter and then deep frying. We'll flip when it's golden brown on the other side. And do the same for our onions, which will be transformed. And now we have a basket of uber crispiness and flavor. Squeeze some lime to tang up your mayo and slather that all over sliced bread. Definitely some lettuce, so just some lovely bits of lettuce I'm tearing up and putting as the base there. Let's have a bit more. Why not? There we go. And I'm putting a little bit of coriander too, just because I love it, and it'll make it lovely and fresh. So we've got a lovely green bed of yumminess there. Next thing, of course, the fish. Let's stab that crispy bit of fish and just lay it down. Delicious. And guess what? Because we've got this lovely sauce, let's put some of that on top too. And I tell you, I had a little taste. It's amazing. I'm dying to taste some of this, especially those onion rings. You ready? Onion cheers. Had to close my eyes for that one. So good. We are making a sweet, hot, and sour fish. Now this dish has 3 components to it, 3 areas of preparation, but each of them is developing flavor upon flavor upon flavor to an amazing and exquisite finish. So for the first component, we're going to make the sweet and sour and hot sauce part. So first things first, some of this delicious pepper sauce. This is hot, so I'm just putting that much in. And then we're going for some ketchup. That's the sweet part. 2 heaped tablespoons. In that goes. Next, the sour part. Some vinegar. A good splodge, which represents about 1.5 tablespoons. And some dark soy. I'm giving it about 6 good shakes. And all we do is just give that a delicious mix. Well, like so. And simply set this aside. Next, we'll be taking our lovely tilapia fillet and cutting it down the middle, like this, and then cutting them into chunks, like that, and into a bowl, along with these. And these are going to make really nice, chunky morsels. You can imagine just sinking your teeth into that. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of this croaker that's left over too. Work at it until you have a paste, and then just add this to the fish pieces. Some of this beautiful smoky dry Rodo powder. Just gonna tip some in. Not too much because we've got some chili in our sauce. And then we need some salt. Nice pinch. And finally, lime juice. Let's squeeze in about 2 whole limes. I just like using the cheeks of the limes, the side, because that way you can avoid unwanted seeds. Good squeeze. And then we're going to give this a mix. Cornstarch, white pepper, salt. Let's just mix that up. And then we're going to Sprinkle that over our fish. I'm going to do it a little at a time. Just coat everything. Egg white to fluff it up. And drop in hot oil one by one. Cook them again until they're just golden brown. And I have to tell you, I need to try this because the smell in here is absolutely incredible. So here goes. One crispy piece of beautiful fish. The fish is so light. The crispiness on the outside is amazing. And that ginger and garlic. The extra goodies. What do we have? We're chopping up some green pepper, chili, and garlic. I'm making onion petals too. First, throw in and stir fry those onion petals. And then the green pepper, followed by the garlic, chilies, and our leftover spring onion and ginger mix. Why not? In with our lovely fish. Oh, give that a nice mix. And just allow the fish to be coated with all those flavors. A little bit of low sodium vegetable stock just to create a bit of a sauce. And now we're adding in the sweet, hot, and sourness. Let's make sure we get it all out. Yum, yum. And give this a lovely mix. Oh, look at that. A little cornstarch slurry to thicken. And this is done. The best suggestion, serve on a bed of rice with a spoon and apply to mouth. Now, after all those crispy, deep-fried delights, it's time to wind it back now and have something really healthy and fresh that's going to put you in a beautiful, calm mood for the end of this episode. We are making a beautiful steamed fish in a broth. But the beautiful thing about this is we're steaming it right in our wok in a very clever way. So if you don't have a steamer, it doesn't matter. We're using fresh lemongrass from my garden for this one. The tops are for tea, and the base you can eat and extract from their roots. Cut and rinse well, and now we can use them for the broth. I've chopped some red and green chilies. Some coriander. I'm just going to help it along by starting to break it up before it goes into the pounder. So I've got some salt in there, in with the coriander. Lovely smell it's giving off, and 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. So first, let's give this a lovely pounding. See how it's getting? It's sort of really pulverizing, and I'm telling you, the smell that you get off of this is really fresh, almost lemony. It's just delicious. There we go. That's enough. Now let's add the green and red chilies. As I said, I don't really want these pulverized, just bruised. That's enough, because I'd like to see them in the broth. That's done. Let's go ahead and add this to our bowl. These are the base flavors for the broth. Into this, some fish sauce. I'm using visual to just give it a nice 2 or 3 squeezes. And then some low sodium vegetable stock. There's our broth. To this, a teaspoon of sugar. There's our balance. And finally, a little acid, some lime juice. Squeeze that in. And all of these flavors combine together to form a really delicious, pungent, sweet, and tart broth. Pound out your lemongrass and lay this in a ceramic bowl. And we're placing the lovely tilapia steaks on top with a bit of salt. Now, you know I said we were going to steam without using a steamer. Well, how do we do that? There's this clever trick I learned and I want to share it with you. And it all involves foil. So we're going to get a bit of foil. Kind of squunch it up like so. And then kind of make a little plinth for our bowl to sit on so that it's not touching the base of the wok. Okay, isn't that clever? So come over and have a look at how we're going to do that. Lay the foil ring at the base of simmering water for your bowl. Cover and steam for 6 minutes. And cut some colourful garnishings for the end while you're waiting. The fish is steamed and now it's broth time before an additional 3-minute steam. Delicious, fragrant, citrusy, flaky tilapia and soothing broth. I'm tasting this. Some of that light tilapia with some of the broth. It's really melt in your mouth fish. It has everything that you want, that lovely, slightly salty element, but it's flaky, it's light. It's such a versatile fish, isn't it? Look at that. And the broth. Yum. This is so good. Delicious. That was really fun, wasn't it? And I enjoyed tasting all those delicious ways to cook fish. Now, when you buy yours, big or small, you'll have some new ideas on how to enjoy it. Keep smiling, be kind to everyone, and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye.